Welcome to Beanie Composter. I know not everybody has got a garden as small as ours, so I was thinking, what if you've got quite a big garden with a massive lawn? Could you just use the Hotbin for composting your grass only? So I thought, now we've got the Hotbin Mini emptied and ready for some experiments, I'm going to try a whole month of just composting grass only in the Hotbin Mini. I will be using bulking agent and shredded paper to counteract the moisture and to keep the airflow, but this is just going to be grass only in the Hotbin. As we haven't got a massive lawn here, I am taking some of the grass from the council verge on the outside of the house, and a lot of that isn't pure grass, so it's got some like dandelion leaves, bits of weed, an awful lot, but inside the grass is pretty pure. But I know most lawns are not completely pure, so this is going to be basically just grass that you've cut on a lawn anywhere. The Mini's all clean and emptied, so it's as if you're starting off from scratch. In the bottom I'm just going to put a layer of twigs just to start off. Then with the grass I'm going to add the bulking agent and shredded paper and mix that in small batches, and then I'm going to add that into the Hotbin to get it above the hatch door, and we'll see how we get on with that. So to start off, I'm going to be adding almost a builder's bucket worth of grass, and then I've got 5 handfuls of bulking agent, and I've also got a 5 litre caddy of shredded paper. So I'm going to use that to start off, and then once that's in there, every other day I'm going to try to add in a 5 litre caddy of grass if I've got it available. We're close on to nearly 2 weeks since I started the grass experiment, and I've been putting grass in almost nearly every other day, and I just wanted to give you an update of where we are and what's been happening in that time scale. We've had a few frosts, so the weather's not been the hottest, and we're not really shifting over the 20 degrees where you need to put the kickstart bottle in, but I haven't put the kickstart bottle in. Inside, we're not really doing much either with the temperature, so we're barely up to 30, so probably 20 degrees I'd say. So the grass I have put in there is starting to go a bit yellowy. Because we haven't come up to hot temperatures and we're not quite over the hatch door markings, today I'm going to put in some extra grass so it brings it over the hatch door, and then see if we get that up to temperature. As I said, we're close to 2 weeks since we started this, and while I was sorting out the leach aid with the larger bin, I thought I'd check on the Mini to see what was coming out, even though the grass hadn't been hot and we hadn't got it up to temperature. We had like a heavy rainstorm at one stage, so a couple of times when I've opened to check what's going on, there's been a bit of water there from the condensation from the grass, so I just thought I'd see if we were getting any leach aid out and what was happening, and I'll show you what was coming out. All that seems to be coming out at the moment is water, whether that's due to the condensation from the grass or whether some rainwater got in there when we had that heavy storm, I'm not sure, but Definitely no real leachate is coming out at the moment, so it's just pure water it seems. I was a bit concerned that I wouldn't have enough grass for this experiment, but as it happens, just the grass in the back lawn is going to be more than ample because it definitely needs cutting, and I've cut it today a little bit as I'm going along, so I'm not cutting the whole lawn and storing it. I'm trying to cut bits and pieces and put it straight in so we get that heat from the grass and it's fresh. I've got some bulking agent here. I know I said it was only going to be grass, but there are some bits of hedge in there which I am using as bulking agent. So to get it above the hatch, I'm going to actually break the grass rules and put in quite a lot of grass today, just so we can get it above and see if we can get some heat into that hot bin. So all of this is going to go in there today, and I'm going to put in quite a lot of paper to take away some of that moisture. So this is definitely going to get us above the hatch door markings, and as I've said, we had quite a cold snap for the last week or so, so I'm hoping now, you know, it's going to warm up and we're going to get to some point where we are hot composting with this grass. It's been exactly 3 weeks since I started the grass experiment, and it's taken all of that time for me to get it into the green. We've just approached the green. I'm going to continue feeding it now, and hopefully it'll just continue rising up and we can get it, you know, hot composting at 60 plus. But I'll just show you where we're at 3 weeks after starting. So after me initially thinking that I'd got things almost into the green and we were about to be hot composting with this grass, a few days later I came out and it's gone cold again. So I kind of guessed that might happen. If you've looked at our video grass in the hot bin, you would know that grass is quite problematic. If you put too much in, it can just clump together, and I think that's what's happening here. When I've stirred it up, it sort of looks like it's clumped together, so I'll give it a stir around, show you what's going on, and we'll see if we can get it back to life again. So we've come right down in temperature, and I'm gonna take the thermometer out and give it a good stir up and see what's going on. Clear to see we've got big clumps like this that are restricting the airflow, and as I've said, I kind of imagine just trying to do grass in a hot bin would probably cause this to happen, so I'm not going to give up just yet. I've got some hardcore bulking agent and some, you know, torn up cardboard, and we're going to add that in with some fresh waste, give it all a big stir up and see if we can actually get it back to hot composting again. As I'm going further down, it's proper clogged up, so I'm either going to need to give up with this or add loads more bulking agent. But I'll give it a good old stir up and see if we can get it going again. So right in the bottom, as I suspected, we are just proper clogged up. Going right to the bottom, and you know, that is just matted together and there's no airflow going through that, and that's why we can't really get it hot composting. So I'll mix it all up, add some bulking agent, and we'll see if that resolves anything. And I'll add in some more grass as well. So the little one plays tennis on a Saturday morning, and just where I parked the car happens to be loads of not cardboard but actual bulking agent. So, you know, nice and dry this time of the year. Every time I drop him off, I take the old gloves and collect a little bit. So let's add this in, give it a good old stir up. Right at the bottom I've got some fresh grass, and we're going to see if that revives this one to get it back up to hot composting temperatures. You've seen how dry it is inside. I haven't emptied the leach aid for quite a while, so we're going to see what actually comes out at the moment. So still very watery. So we'll leave it like that, see how we get on. I don't want to add tons and tons of bulking agent because I just feel like that's not really real life as how you would manage this and how you would want to manage it. So I'm going to just leave it as it is. If it doesn't really sort of come back to hot composting in the next few days or at least the next week, then we'll probably call this experiment done. But I'll give it another go and see how we get on. And you know, I just keep an eye on it, but as I say, I don't want to really be adding loads more bulking agent because it's kind of irrelevant to what you would get out of it. 2 days after me giving it a good stir up and putting in that hardcore bulking agent, look what's happened. We're actually in the green and steam coming out. Anyone who's new to Hotbin composting or has trouble getting their Hotbin up to temperature, I think that last day when I gave it a good old stir up really proved how vital it is to get airflow through your Hotbin. In just 2 days we've gone from in the cold zone to hot composting, and I was a little bit apprehensive about getting this going, but it seems like it's working now, so I'm going to persevere. So tomorrow's the 1st of May, and everyone's saying on social media and news that it's no mow May, but you know, it's been so dry here in the last month. I think since we started this video, which is close to a month old now, it hasn't rained at all here. So the lawn is starting to look a little bit tired where it's not getting any water. So I don't think I'll be mowing that too much at the moment. Even though the council tax has risen, the front verge, they're not cutting it at the moment. So maybe they're following that no mow May. But I will be using some of that to top things up, and we'll keep going for a few more weeks later, and then we'll see what happens on the end result. We're using what I'd call a bit more hardcore bulking agent now with the grass. So initially I was using this stuff, which is quite fine and very dry, but you know, it didn't seem to be helping with the airflow. So we're using this stuff now, or a mixture of both, and this definitely is giving us the airflow that we need with the grass. So I'm going to carry on trying to top it up every other day, maybe every couple of days, depending how much grass I can cut and what we can get. But at the moment I've got half a builder's bucket there, which I've just mowed this morning, and I'm going to use a mixture of, you know, the light bulking agent and a bit of the hardcore stuff, just to, so we do get that airflow going through still. So just a couple of handfuls of each, and I'm going to put in some shredded paper and cardboard as well. I'm going to give this a little bit of a stir up, just so we carry on getting the airflow through it, and then I'm going to add in the new stuff and give that a little bit of a stir through with it as well. You saw me put that feed into the grass yesterday. Have a look the next morning what temperature we're up to. After finally getting it up to a real good temperature, I'm gonna see how long I can maintain putting grass into that and maintaining that heat before I empty it and see what the final product is like. The grass isn't really growing anymore because it's, you know, it's going into that dormant stage where it's not had any water. But I'm sure I can get some grass from somewhere, whether I need to rob some from my mum's garden or whatever, just to keep things going. But that's an update of what we're doing at the moment, and we'll show you at the end what the final product is like. It's been 2 months now since we started the grass in the Hotbin experiment, and it's been a bit hot and cold as to whether we can get it hot or cold or working or not. And after 2 months I've finally decided that the grass in our lawn is starting to look a bit untidy. So, you know, I've cut loads today, and I've decided the experiment with the Hotbin is finally going to finish today. So we're going to empty it, see what we've produced in terms of compost wise, if it's worth it, and the end result. I haven't emptied the leachade for quite a while, so let's see what we're going to get out on this final time. Absolutely nothing. There you see, nothing's come out of the leachade tap. To be honest, this has been a bit up and down. I've had it hot composting for a little bit, then it goes cold. It's real difficult to maintain it hot composting. But when I'm stirring it up, I notice how dry things are, so I'm actually a bit concerned as to whether we've actually produced any compost at all. But today we're going to find out. I'll give it a stir around and you can see what's going on inside. Very dry, and as I say, it just doesn't seem to be looking like it's going to turn into compost anytime soon. So remember, what you see here isn't what you're going to get out of a normal Hotbin composter. We've just been putting grass only into this one as an experiment, so don't be alarmed if you see the results are really bad, because this isn't what you'd get out of a normal Hotbin if you're running it properly. Here we go guys, first reveal of just grass only in the Hotbin. Massive ant's nest again. Jean, I know you've given up with your hot bin because of health reasons, but if you are still watching the videos, this one's gonna make you laugh because we've got a massive ant's nest again in this one, which is, you know, as you know, can cause me a lot of problems. Apart from the ant's nest, I think it's sort of looking like, kind of like compost, but let's get it out and actually see what it really looks like when it's emptied.
Super crumbly.
Super dry. After 2 months of just composting grass, we've actually produced pretty much nothing. So I'm guessing that's 2 months of my life I'm not going to get back. But at least it isn't going to mean you're going to waste your time trying to just compost grass because I've done it for you. Is it worth it? I think from the very beginning I kind of knew that this was going to lead to being problematic with getting the temperature up and maintaining that heat. I actually was quite surprised when I see this now how dry it actually is, considering how much water you would imagine to be in grass. So this has come as a little bit of a shock to see just how dry, you know, everything is. The paper hasn't actually, you know, the paper's still bone dry, and we've just not, you know, the grass hasn't broken down properly. We're just not produced hardly anything at all. And for me now, I think with this I'm gonna just have to literally add it into the hot bin, our normal hot bin, to get it, you know, up to hot composting temperatures to actually properly break it down. So in a way, if you are thinking of getting a hot bin because you've got a big lawn and you think you can just compost grass, well, definitely don't waste your money buying a hot bin just to compost grass. It's difficult, it doesn't produce you any good results, and to be honest, it's a little bit of a waste of time. I think if you've got a big lawn, add some grass to your normal hot bin. That keeps the temperature high and it does give you good results. But if you do have tons and tons of grass, then just buy a Dalek and put it in a normal, you know, cold composting bin and leave it there for a whole year, and you'd probably get much better results than trying to do it speedily through the hot bin. I hope this video has helped you out, and if anything, it's shown you that just composting grass in a hot bin is a complete and utter waste of time. But don't forget, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already to see more experiments that we're going to do with the hot bin. Give us some messages, whether they're old videos or new ones, we'll always respond. And as I've always said, this is about a community channel where we all help each other, so all those questions don't just help me out, but they help the whole forum out, so keep them coming, and thank you very much for your interest. Until next time, happy composting, and make sure it's not just only with grass. Some of you may be wondering what happened to all the material I took out of the hot bin, what I did with it and where it is now. Well, it just so happens that the large one wasn't hitting real good temperatures. It was up to, like, you know, halfway in the green, and I sort of had a feeling that some needed to be emptied out at the bottom of that. So after I'd emptied the mini, I took some out of the large one and I added a little bit back into that as well. But with the mini, I cleaned it out, got it all back up to how you would do if you were just starting it up from scratch. And I mixed in, we had quite a bit of garden waste, I mixed all that together with the material that I took out of the hot bin, And it just goes to show that having a variety of mixture in your hot bin makes a hell of a difference, because I got this hot composting within a day after putting that material in, mixed with different stuff from the garden and the kitchen caddy waste. So have a look. This is a day after we showed you that temperature. The Chelsea flower show's finished. We're fast approaching June. This time of the year, hot composting is possible within a matter of days, and it also goes to show you variety is the spice of life.